Tyler, you heading this up?
Sure.
All right, we are go.
We're live?
We're live.
We're live, baby. All right, this is going to be a short one today. I'm the best driver. See you guys later.
That was easy, right? Oh. Thought we weren't going to be cocky here.
Nope, gotta come out of the gate swinging.
He's got the most potential. I mean, he's the lightest driver.
That's true.
Yeah.
Lightweight race driver.
I'd
I don't
say
know.
I got the biggest disadvantage there.
Noah's pretty close nowadays.
I'm getting down there a little bit, but
But welcome everyone. It is Friday. No Trev today because we got 4 drivers. Trev's a good driver too, but he does slidey boy things, and that's all based on judging. So you can't really put a metric to that.
It's all about the grip here.
Yep, we're all about the grip.
Grip and
we
rip.
are starting off with who's the best driver? I mean,
Tim's got the most experience.
yeah.
I don't know if he does, honestly. At this point, I feel like we both got into it at the same point.
You're 30-second races at a time. Like, come on.
I'll give you the
Seat time, overall seat time.
Overall seat time in all the different events.
And we were just saying today how many different platforms he literally has
I
at
mean,
his
true, he
disposal.
It is disposable.
Disposal daily, because we were talking about how many different reverses he has to find.
Yeah.
And all of your cars are manuals, which is
And he
quite a
can probably hit a
commitment.
1-2 shift better than me. So,
Yep.
Maybe.
nice self-burn.
Maybe. You got to get him in, Maybe Al will stop. I don't think so.
I don't know, man. Sonics are hard to shift. I mean, I've got one too, and
They're
it's hard.
weird. They're just, it doesn't feel intuitive to shift them fast.
I don't think that tranny's that tranny wasn't built to shift fast.
No, it's a crappy Econobox trans.
For
I've
the
tried
two that I've raced, it's always been just kind of
Not good.
no.
Yeah.
I've tried to no lift shift a Sonic 2 times, and both times blew the cable out of the base bracket. Both times.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's just open shift that thing now.
Yep.
Huh.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I guess we can put metrics to who's the best driver. We can bring emotions into it, but
There's so many also like disciplines. of
yes,
it.
yeah. So that's
many.
the thing is, I would say out of everyone here, we don't have there's one person who you can throw in anything, like Tomo.
Yeah.
He seems to, from what I've heard, you can put him in any car and he'll drive the crap out of it, and he'll be faster than you. But we've all driven similar cars, and we've all kind of done similar events in the last couple of years, and we've had some victors, we've had some losers, But
Yeah, we always got a good rivalry going. Any event we go to, we're always at each other probably more than anybody who wouldn't be friends is at each other.
yeah.
But it's what makes it fun. What keeps us competitive and our cars improving constantly. I probably wouldn't even be building half of my car if it weren't for trying to beat friends.
Yeah. Last year at Berlin, was you actually getting out there and
Yeah.
wheeling that moose.
Yeah, Bo has a lot of potential too, because he kind of came out swinging pretty hard.
Yeah.
Came out with no road course experience and surprised all of us with the Galloping Moose.
Yeah, with the big old W body.
The car that none of us I feel guilty about it. When you talk about road coursing the Regal, and I'm like, okay. And then you came out swinging hard. I'm like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah, and it's only going to be better this year, and I'm really excited to feel and see the improvements I did make. Hopefully, reflect on the track as well, and overall just have a better, just a better setup that's more capable,
so does that mean
I
you're
can
actually
push
gonna
it.
autocross and do some track days this year?
Yeah,
then, once she's all good to go.
I'm fixing to just do everything.
Yeah.
You heard it there.
I don't want to miss anything with it. I've missed a lot. I feel like I've missed out a lot on the last 3 weeks. I've been building the damn thing, but as soon as it's together,
It's not full summer yet.
get it tuned in.
Just mostly summer.
Yeah, getting there.
I guess let's go down the line. So, first we've got,
Let's talk karting.
Karting.
I mean,
karting.
I don't think there's really much of a talk to have there. honestly.
There isn't.
I run that all day, every day.
Yeah.
The only person who has ever beat me here is Matt.
Matt Telder.
Yep.
Yeah, one of our.
I think honestly he's one of
Warehouse
the
employees.
surprise.
Well, he drives really good at Berlin too.
Yeah, exactly. And he does all his sim stuff. So I mean, he's
got
that
a lot
potential.
more racing experience and I guess overall
Background.
prowess
Yeah.
that I didn't know of.
Yeah.
I mean, last year
He's
when
like
he
a
was,
true racing nerd. Like,
Yeah.
way more than I think. Honestly, most.
I mean,
of
yeah,
us
he
are almost.
spends. I mean, he does iRacing and does
Until 3 o'clock every morning.
like hours and hours and hours of sim racing, and obviously that doesn't directly translate, but it still
It's
helps
a lot. Yeah.
a
Exactly.
lot.
See, I guess I have a different opinion. I had iRacing. I had a pretty neat sim reg. I didn't use it very much. But it, without being in the car, feeling the G-forces, seeing stuff coming up in real life, like, it didn't help me at all.
Yeah.
The only cool thing about it was that I can go to, like, Laguna Seca and I could damn near drive the car with my eyes closed.
Yeah.
And a lot of road courses that I'll never get to go to, like Gran Turismo. Like, I know all those tracks. Like,
Yeah.
I've done I've literally done the 24-hour endurance races on all the biggest tracks in Gran Turismo. Like, I got, like, right before I started at ZZP, I played Gran Turismo for like a month straight because I got laid off during September 11th, and I played nothing but Gran Turismo.
So this
for
was
like
the
a month.
original Gran Turismo?
I played that one too, but it was
Gran Turismo 2?
3, I think, at that
okay.
time.
I still play Gran Turismo like every night, just trying to get like 20, 30 minutes in just to
Wow.
kind of stay sharp. I think it helps a lot, honestly.
I think it helps a lot for suspension tuning and learning road courses. But as soon as you get in a real car, like, it's all out the window. Like,
Yeah.
you like Road America. I have a lot of miles on that on one of my racing games, and I went there and I didn't even recognize the track.
Really?
It was very weird. But you know, I was watching a Laguna Seca race. And I was like, oh, crap, you know, here's this turn coming up, that turn coming up. And then my wife, is like, what the heck? You know all this? I'm like, oh, yeah. 100 hours on Laguna Seca, probably.
But back to karting.
Yeah, back to karting.
I like karting a lot. I mean, I wish I could have gone with you this weekend, and I wish I could remember my time I ran at High Caliber in Lansing. It's what's gets me with karting is how much one little mess up affects a whole run.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
if
you-
you're off
you're
one
screwed.
corner, you're
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
The whole lap.
Just scrap it.
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yep.
It's 100%
And-
perfection. You
and
have
you
to
really
be so
have
focused.
you have to
the
string
focus.
together 4 or 5 good laps
Yeah.
to get really fast. Because if
get
you
the tires hot, get the track.
if you're losing any momentum from a goof, you know, you're
And also just passing people that are slower is just, it's so much fun. Do you ever go out with
bet.
people that run like 10 seconds slower than you?
yeah, and you're just lapping them
Yeah,
and lapping
exactly.
them.
It's a good time.
I like.
Yeah, so with karting, I'd say Noah.
Yep, Noah for
Also,
sure.
I do league, so I am kind of, I do it a lot. So.
Yeah.
And that's a momentum sport, too. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
for
that's definitely teaching you some stuff.
And there's also a large correlation between if you go a lot and how fast you get. The more you
with
go, you'll
anything.
learn- Yeah, exactly. So.
with anything.
And then I guess it would move on to autocross.
Yeah.
I'm going to give Noah the point on that one, too.
Noah the-
Unless
that-
it's a
that too.
Berlin, because I whooped his ass in that.
My
Sonic
tires
one.
were like
What's up,
gone for that one. What's up?
nah.
You got
man.
beat by my Sonic.
I beat him in the Regal that day too.
That was like the last day of those tires. There was that grid light a couple
okay, I
hours
see.
before.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
the brakes were misbalanced.
Yeah, there's
Just
all
make up
the
whatever excuses I
excuses.
can, right? If we do it again this year, hey, I'll make sure
I
that's...
I have never, and I give Noah plenty of props because I've never been able to like really wrap my mind around autocrossing and really enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's
Agree.
too fast for me. It's too jerky and quick, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I
You
just
get lost too easy.
It's
Yeah.
a lot of mental of like learning something super quick
Yeah.
on the fly and just adapting.
You know
to
what? I take it back. I don't give you the autocross point. I beat you at Berlin in my Sonic.
I don't know if I'd consider that one an autocross even. That's like a
And
like a road course with like or circle track with like a couple chicanes. Maybe.
have you ever had an FTD at an autocross?
Yes.
Ooh, so
The
I do too.
131 one.
Okay, well I have FTD in my Kappa at.
I took Tesla, so that's kind of a cheater, I guess. But.
See, I didn't even count my Berlin Tesla. I got. I
yeah,
took
that was
yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
second in the championship of that, but
With stock
it's a
everything.
stupid Tesla.
Yeah,
So
Tesla's.
I mean,
For autocross,
they're
it's the best. It's just the best.
they're amazing. They're fast, but
We had a pretty
they
good
suck.
battle at Grattan for sure.
Yeah.
But I'd still say we got to do same car.
We need
I
to
know you
take
don't like your autocross.
we need
but
to take the base
think, like,
model out.
The base
Yeah,
model
base
at
model.
Grattan Autocross, that'd be perfectly fair. We both know the car pretty well. We know the
Yeah.
track.
See,
Yeah,
I was thinking go even more extreme with this and take like the diesel van.
I'm
You
not-
want to see who can drive?
Yeah.
It's like the
Try not to
episode
roll
of
it.
Top Gear where Sabine Schmidt
Oh, yeah.
passes
Runner.
Jeremy in. I think he's in what, like a 911 or something. He's in some, fancy
Yeah.
sports car, and she drives a Ford Transit van faster around the Nürburgring
Yeah.
than he does.
Queen of the Ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you
Oh,
never seen
that sounds like an amazing episode.
Oh, it's great.
All right.
Because she hops in. Yeah, rip. But she hops in and just rips off like a 10-second better time than him.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a good one to
Wow,
watch.
that's amazing. I know. I've watched some Nürburgring videos, and wow, if you know that track, holy crap, is that? There's
also-
probably minutes faster if you
Oh,
just
yeah.
know it.
For a while when I was playing Gran Turismo, I went through literally every car in the game, and I would drive it for probably 3 or 4 laps on Nürburgring just to kind of see best time I could get.
Yep.
So I think at this point I know that track like back of my hand, which
Ooh,
took
really?
a long time. But
I do not know Nürburgring. I spent a lot of time on it, but the course is so long.
It is very long. Yeah.
It's hard to link the turns together.
Yeah.
A lot of blind turns in,
Yeah.
in Nürburgring.
Yeah, for sure.
I do like putting on the Nürburgring crash compilations.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Watching
for
those
sure.
I've watched those many times.
because it's a public highway.
A lot of BMWs.
Why are Chevy Cruises such a disappointment in the performance department? Well, they put an underpowered, really tiny 1.4 in a car that weighed more than a Cobalt.
Yeah.
So it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
You put a
kidding.
Z04 on it, though, and I bet they're a lot
You'll
more
be getting
fun.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
My best argument for being the best driver would be how diversified my driving is from, turning or drag racing or even off-road driving, like dune driving, trail driving, even snow driving. I guess that's another thing is, no, I don't think you can pull a good 60-foot and run a quarter-mile time like,
Probably not.
myself
no,
can.
No. I've
So-
done like three drag days maybe.
Exactly.
And I was
You
like,
know,
I
you got your
blew up
area.
my clutch and trans the first time, and I was like, this is
At
expensive.
CED,
I like,
yeah. That track breaks.
No, it wasn't CED. It was 131.
Oh, really?
I don't think I heard anything at CED.
No? No, that's
No.
good. That's a good point, though, bringing up drag racing. 2 years ago, or like 2019, I would have said anyone can drag race a car.
Oh yeah.
You know,
It's-
I was-
it's straight line, bro.
Yeah, I was one of those people. I had never done the discipline. And now that I've been trying to launch this stupid little shit box for 3 years, I'm like, yeah, there's a big difference.
Yeah.
And I would say, hands down, probably best drag racer is obviously Mr. Matt Meekoff.
Absolutely.
Like,
Got a lot of time.
a lot of time
belt.
and a lot of brain.
Yeah.
A lot of different cars too.
Yeah.
A lot of a big experience level of vehicles.
Yeah, I like hearing his stories about the Grand Prix when he used to have to push
Yeah.
9 different buttons and would take his hands off the wheel to hit the extra
Yeah,
scramble button and stuff.
Yep.
That's kind of wild.
But yeah, I have like no real drag racing or like off-road experience.
Yeah.
I think off-road at some point
The
would be fun to
off-road
get
thing
into.
is legit.
Yeah.
That's
I have
probably one of the
0.
hardest.
I guess I
driving
did
I've
ice
ever-
racing once.
I've
That-
ever.
Ooh,
that
I
counts.
I still would like to do some
Yeah,
ice racing. I
that's
think
fun.
that'd be a lot of fun. Just
Yeah, I've
friggin'
been meaning
slip
to do
sliding
that.
around.
Yeah, the off-road stuff is very unpredictable.
Yeah. It's
pave-
just so like course dependent. Also, I kind of feel like if you do like rallycross, you get the ever-changing conditions sort of thing. Like who ran before you, what ruts you got to go in. There's a lot more to it, which I just don't get, sort of thing.
I mean, honestly, this is a question. Does going up to like Silver Lake require any
100%.
skill?
And
Okay.
that is, it's crazy because your first time there, you do look and feel like an idiot.
Yeah.
And it takes probably a full year of going there, 4 or 5 times a season, to just figure out how to drive on the sand. And maneuvering around what to do, what not to do, how to not get yourself in a bad position, or
Not dig yourself in a hole.
or crash or roll, or
Yeah.
run into another person.
Basically, figure out how to not break your vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too. Because you gotta ride the fine line of hooning and having a good time, and also not pushing your vehicle to the breaking point or overheating. That's the big thing up there, is overcoming the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a huge learning curve. Which I think you would actually love it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I would.
And
I know I'm the type that would be like, I want to just go real hard all day, sort of thing. And
Yeah. Well, I know
hard
you
to
even
find
you're
the
getting
limit sometimes.
you're getting a truck pretty soon
Yeah,
finally.
hopefully next week it passed inspection and all that
Even
stuff. So.
even just tooling around in a stock Chevy truck's fun up there.
Oh yeah,
so,
I believe it.
Yep.
Yeah, we should definitely have a little ZZP Dune Day.
For sure.
I'd be down.
Yeah, but even just general off-roading and just the looseness of a back gravel road, you know. I mean, it's not that I drive fast on back gravel roads, but
Tim's got some stories about driving fast on gravel roads.
Yeah.
yeah. But you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. Going fast on dirt is a lot different than going fast on pavement.
Oh yeah.
So
it's-
much.
And you can't. If you're good on pavement, you're not going to be equally as good on dirt. It's kind of like, I feel like we always revert to the cars and the Lightning McQueen. You know, do you know how to turn left and go right or whatever? Turn right and go left.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, with dirt roads, I had a dune truck that I would you turn left to go right to get the body swinging, and then you would set the front the front tire in the ditch to hook the ditch to be able to hit the corner faster. But if you misjudge that, then you go off the outside of the turn.
Yeah.
And then bad things happen.
I remember one of my first very scary driving experiences on dirt was I was 16. I had my Geo Tracker, and I just got the new tires put on it. And me and my buddy at 5-speed rolling through the gears, going down back roads, and there's this curve where there's a swamp. And I just ripped the e-brake, like way too much e-brake, and it got stuck because it's had the flipper, whatever.
Yeah, little button.
And we almost just rolled this thing right off the road into the swamp, like 10 minutes after I put brand new wheels and tires on it. And that was like a huge turning point. I'm like, wow, I need to learn how to drive.
Yeah.
Actually use an e-brake before I just go out here and start ripping the e-brake.
Yeah.
But when you're 16, you think you can do everything.
Oh yeah. I
mean,
turned.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I turned 16 in October, and then so the first season I had of driving my own car, my little Saturn wagon, was winter, and it had a working e-brake, and holy crap, did I pull that thing every single turn. I'd be coming home from high school, and there was one neighborhood that had a real nice 3S section that was just through it, and so I'd hit that quicker and quicker every day until the one day you hit a little too fast and I ripped the e-brake and spun into someone's yard.
Yep.
And then I'm sitting there, and the old lady came out and starts yelling at me, and I was just like,
I'm crying here.
taking off, peeled out. But it's funny because you don't, when you're doing it as a 16 or 18-year-old or whatever, you don't think of, oh, this is adding to my driving, skill. But it really does.
Translation, yeah, for sure.
As long as you're, not
I'd say a
hitting
big thing.
poles.
I'd say a big thing of being a good driver is having good reactions. You have your inputs that you try and do to set the car up or achieve a good corner, but being able to react to the conditions that the car is going through is a huge thing of driving.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I like about my Cobalt is the back end gets out a lot. You just give it power and just kind of straightens out sort of thing. It's a lot easier to kind of save it when you're right on that edge.
Learning to control the vehicle when it's out of control is crucial.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, going out on a snowy day and just mashing with, I always use the term consequences. Consequences are mailbox, curbs, other cars. So, find a place to horse around that doesn't have a lot of consequences. And then, figure out your route and be like, okay, I'm going to take this route and do whatever you have to do to stay on that. And then you can start to horse around consequences and not worry about, smashing wheels and other cars.
When I was 15,
But
my dad
it's
took me
crucial.
out to a school parking lot when it was snowy, and he was like, "All right, you're gonna go drift it, go kind of drive hard and kind of figure out what the limits are and what you can do, slam on the brakes sort of thing." And
Well, that's one thing that I've always thought that every state needs for driver's ed is something like that.
Police do it.
Yeah, police do it.
I've actually done the cop slide at Michigan
Nice.
State Police. That was a ton of fun. I went there for 2 weeks for an academy when I was younger, and we did the track, and then they turned the sprinklers on, and they're like,
have fun.
Yeah.
oh, it was fun,
Nice.
super fun. We rode with them twice, and then we got to do it once.
Yeah.
and I sure as heck yeeted that Charger. There was a lot of other kids that were like, And I'm just like, whoa! But
You like that snack?
Dude,
Those are good, aren't they?
I had to come up in person. They're good. But I also make sure everyone knows, I didn't miss a single turn last year. I'm pretty sure I'm the best driver.
he also didn't turn a single time.
Exactly. So hey.
Half mile. Half an hour.
Straight line.
I missed a few turns last year. Missed a
Definitely
few
did,
turns
yeah.
this year.
I only missed one last year. Yeah, just one. One's enough though. One will do it.
I think I only had one last year also, which is quite an improvement on the year before that, I think.
Yeah.
Dude, you gotta. If you don't miss a few,
Yeah.
Yeah.
then you're not trying hard
Yeah,
enough.
exactly.
I only
And you're
broke
not-
one lip last year
Yeah, you
at
gotta find
Gingerman.
those. You gotta find those limits.
3. I think I'm at 2. I'm on my 3rd one right now. Planning to keep it on there, but sorry, Ryan Derek, I don't know if it'll happen.
Yeah, I know. At least that's attached a little better. The
Yeah.
Camaro one is just little M4 bolts
yeah.
just right at the bottom of the bumper, so it rips right off.
Yeah, you got one little grass blade's like boop.
Yep.
So you,
You go far off and eats the whole thing.
oh.
Yeah. But also one other thing with autocross for me, I always try and drive a lot of cars just so I can
Yeah.
get that like large experience of like front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, all wheel drive, huge power, like no power. Just kind of makes it a little bit more fun and
Diversify.
yeah, I definitely think it helps with the driving skill.
Yeah, back to the reaction thing real quick. I'm heading into work the other day, and I was driving the Ford in, and it was like a rainy morning. I'm taking a cloverleaf to get on M6, come down here, and I'm in the Ford, heading around, and it's like, even in the Ford, I'm a car guy, so I'm like pushing it. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And I got coffee in this hand, wheel in this hand, and all of a sudden, it was just wet enough. The back end just says, come on, let's come around. And it was like really quick, and I just quick, gave it the whoop and pedaled the gas a little bit and straightened it out and
Yep.
merged onto the highway. And the person behind me was probably
like,
like, "What
"Whoa."
the heck?" But like I was thinking, I'm like, man,
Heart rate went up just a little bit.
yeah, just the old little oop. And then, but if Sarah was driving it, we probably would have been in the guardrail
Yeah.
Yeah.
because she wouldn't have had that reaction of
Yeah.
how to correct that and how to pedal through it and
I had a lot
everything
of
else.
those with my IS 300 in the winter when I drove that thing because I would always drive that thing pretty aggressively and kind of try and get the ass to hang out just a hair and there's
Yeah,
just a
that's.
few
I
little
wasn't
whip
even
whap, but
trying.
it's
Like I'm
full
just
lock.
taking it a little fast, and it said, "Come on around."
I think that's one of my favorite things about road course racing is like you get to push so many turns that you are a way better driver on the street.
Yeah.
Like you just don't make them like. I know the mistakes that people make when they hit their entrance ramps and the clover leaves. Like they come barreling into them way too fast.
Yep.
Or they don't pay attention to where if it's if it's tightening up or if
Yeah,
it's
decreasing
loosening up.
radius. Yeah.
You have to get used to the car and like where it starts to let go. I accelerate out of turns. I enter them slower. Generally my rule is twice the speed. I'll enter the turn at twice the speed, and I'll try to judge if it's an increasing or decreasing radius, and then accelerate through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you can get the front end or the car to just stretch out and just kind of slip a little bit as you're exiting, that's perfect.
Yep.
Well, I always revert to the car can only do one thing at once.
Yep.
It can only stop, it can only go, and it can only turn. And as soon as you start trying to do more than one thing at once, the car's not going to be happy, and that's when you're going to
I
have a
always
problem.
like the kind of like 100 points analogy. The car only has like 100 points, and it can do,
Oh,
say
you can give
80% turn and like 20% gas,
Yep.
but it can't do,
Yeah.
60% turn and 60% gas sort of thing.
Yep.
Otherwise, you're just kinda-
yeah.
That's a good analogy. That was one of the first big lessons I learned in the Camaro on road course, and I started to get faster, was recognizing when I was on the brakes and turning, or turning and giving it gas, because you either fishtail and you're drifting.
That's the biggest thing that I struggle with autocrossing or anything tight is a lot of times you are doing more than one thing at once.
Uh-huh.
If you're on an open road with some curves or maybe even a road course, you brake for the corner, you turn the corner, you exit the corner. It's pretty simple, especially if you got a sorted car. But sometimes on an autocross, you're just like doing
you
a
gotta
lot at once.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard for me to like collect myself and try and execute properly when I'm when it's just a lot happening at once.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's where you were mentioning video games is really good. And karting, I mean, keeping you sharp because it is a big mental game.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, it's you know, grid life. I had what definitely the biggest oops slash scary moment was you know, the
Up on one tire doing 360s and
yeah
stuff?
yeah I think I had the car on one tire. That was
Pirouette.
It's kind of crazy how much like just coming off the brake like slowly
Oh, yeah.
increases.
Yeah.
Like just stability overall.
Well,
yeah,
you're
I learned
upsetting the
from
car.
I learned from not having ABS how nice ABS is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was barreling into a turn, and I learned with this car you have to ease on the brakes and ease off the brakes, which I've never had a vehicle I've had to do that before.
Yeah, you just
I
stab
just
'em.
cram brake. I just stab the brake and then crank the wheel and go. But this car you have to ease on, ease off. And my mom actually posted some pictures of my car, just random corner photos, and she posted a picture of my car on 2 tires. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's probably why I lost it and did the
Yeah.
fastest 360 I've ever done in my life. From 90 to 0 in like 150 feet of a 360.
Yeah.
Didn't know that was possible, but it happened. It was pretty eye-opening, but you know, spec base model, that's what it's here for. Like, we're gonna develop some cool suspension parts on this dumb slow car.
Yep.
You know, and I'm gonna beat Noah in spec base model.
I hope so.
Like,
Are you going
Wait,
to build one, Noah?
We'll see about that.
you're gonna have to, because
Did you
this
s-
spec
It's so
base
far
model is
from
gonna beat you.
spec base model at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
He's a turbo away from beating your,
I know,
your
exactly.
LNF.
it's a SS Cobalt now with
an
a
NA
stock
engine.
2.2 engine.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Like the engine is 100%. Well, it's stock minus a header and downpipe because they're
Yeah.
lighter than the stock components. But yeah, it's you know, it's got way too much brake. That was a mistake. So
Yeah.
you base model guys, you might want to try running the stock brakes a little longer than I did, because as of right now, like, I hit the brakes and I slow down too much.
I feel
So
like
that's
if you
gonna
just
take
get
some
rid of
time.
the drums in the rear, that'd probably be a good
Yeah, but
start.
then you don't
Maybe
want to add
it'll-
too much rear bias as soon as you do that because that teeny front caliper. You definitely have to do both at the same time.
Well, depending on how the ABS works. I mean, the ABS might be able to manage it.
Yeah.
I mean, that is what it's there for.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
I kind of
this-
wonder if you could just mess with the pad bias also.
yeah. Well, I like the idea of that as long as both pads react to temperature the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we'll see how that works. But we're gonna learn a lot on the spec base model, and I am totally open for handing the keys around on that car. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that's what that car is there for. I definitely need, like, holy crap, it needs gears. Like, it needs gears bad. I need that View 445 or whatever.
There's a manual view at Weller.
Yeah, I need that gear ratio. That's going to help it dramatically. I'm, 6 seconds behind Noah? 7 seconds?
51, right? Yeah. 44.
Yeah, I'm a 51.3 was my final grid life
I'm
time.
still curious to see how my car would do with slicks. That'd be an interesting.
Everybody told me that the Hoosiers are not an upgrade from 200s. Everybody said that. Now, I did have the car on 2 wheels around a corner, so
They had
that
some
seems
grip,
to be against
obviously.
it. But I do think my base model has an issue that we're going to have to diagnose.
Yeah.
I think I have a suspension travel issue that we're going to have to figure out and, like, you know, make it work. But yeah, I think we're gonna learn a lot on that car. And once we figure all this stuff out, and then we just apply that to your SS Supercharged Cobalt, Tyler, and Noah's SS Turbo Cobalt, then obviously my car is gonna get murdered.
I want that 139 this year. I think it's possible.
Yeah?
With power
I
stuff, but-
don't see why it's not.
Yeah, I really don't.
I don't see why it's not. I mean, if I've got a 151 out of a base model and with issues,
Yeah.
I think
I mean,
a
granted,
one.
I've always kind of had little issues here or there. Like, I feel like at this point, I'm probably the most sorted I've been. But even like when I ran that 44 last month or whatever, I was still having that axle bind issue, and the camber was all wonked out.
Oh,
also,
yeah, that's
so
right.
I still haven't
Yeah.
had like my true. This car is fully sorted. I think it's good to go. Let's see
I
what it
think
can
you
do.
are.
I think it's good to go.
I think you're capable. I think your car is totally capable of a 139. And along with that, I think my base model is capable of a 145. I think it's going to happen. It's going to need
At
gears.
that power level. you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not adding power until I run like a 146 at least.
Yeah.
And I think it's got it in it because I come out of every corner at 3,500 RPM with 387 gears. So it's at 3,500 for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with a 440 gear ratio, that's going to bump that 500 RPM.
There you go.
And then I'm still not going to have to grab fourth on the normal straightaways. I'll just have to grab fourth on the main two.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I kind of do now. I just run it to $7,000, but the car is so out of power at $7,000.
Oh, so much.
So out of power. But yeah, I don't know. I think a point for me, I think I'm probably the quickest to learn a new track. You can throw me in any car, and in like 4 laps, I will run a fast time with it.
See, I would go against that just with my autocross. And,
You're too twitchy, dude. You're not smooth enough. You got to work on the smoothness.
Yeah,
If you can
that's the
twitch-
autocross versus.
If you can
I will
jerk
say
the
my
wheel,
inputs are very jerky, but
if you can jerk
Works
the
out.
wheel that much, that means you're hitting the turns too slow.
That's true.
Because I am very smooth. And then like Scott Woolworth, he made a comment about, he says that I'm even jerky. And I'm like, really? Like everybody always comments about how smooth I am.
Yeah.
And he's smoother than me yet. So
All right.
I would love to go head to head with Scott.
I'm a big fan of smooth as well.
Yeah.
I've ridden with Noah, and I respect it, and I love watching it, honestly. And I'm in the passenger seat with you. I'm like, get it, son. But
I guess I feel a lot smoother in like Gran Turismo than in real life. But gotta try and transition that one over to the.
well, you
so that
you
actually
run a
matters.
super small wheel too, so
Yeah.
330 millimeter wheel, and you're just like,
Yeah, yeah, pretty
Yeah. Yeah, that's me too. Like that base model. Also, another big screw up is my 18-inch wheels with
Yeah,
a
yeah.
245 4018 tire. That is way
Those
too
are
much tire
huge.
for a base model.
Freaking donk.
So my 225 40 17s are going to be a
yeah,
huge upgrade
you'll
as
be able
well.
to lower it a lot more
Yeah.
too.
But I will say Tim is definitely faster on the road. Like whenever we go down Tail of the Dragon, he's got just bigger balls for sure.
Tyler's
All
got
day.
some balls too. We'll see how Bo does. Bo's going this year. So
Yeah, I'm dying.
no dying.
Yeah, don't do that.
Tyler, I followed Tyler in the Camaro, and Tyler does not play around on tail.
We-
Noah
we've
is
definitely had some good runs, but
Noah
Yeah.
is slow on tail, I will say.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
comparatively.
conservative for sure.
I remember yelling at him. It was like the highlight of my 2020 was us going to Tail of the Dragon and me riding passenger, and I was literally yelling at Noah like, "Don't touch that brake pedal!" And I'm like, "Come on, son!"
Wasn't that when I didn't have
You didn't have an engine.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a
We were-
little different there, maybe, but
We were coasting down the Dragon because his fuel pump died.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was like, "You gotta hold the corner speed. You
but no
gotta
power
hold the
steering, which is so weird. I don't know. It's just, you
God,
can't use
that
the
was
power
fun.
to save it at all.
He's like, where are the cones?
Somebody put the cones up. I can't see.
It was like a straight like 2 miles of downhill.
Oh yeah, it worked very well. Like I died at a pretty opportune.
Yes,
point, but-
it died at like kind of the top of Cherhalla, and then we like got it, like it cooled down so it would start up and it would run for X amount of time.
Yeah.
man.
So then he would like fire it up and he would get going, and then all of a sudden we hit the downhill and I'm like, hey, key the car off and then key it back on while we're mashing down Tail
Yeah,
of the Dragon
yeah.
or Cherhalla, I'm sorry. And then I'm like, you got this corner, just keep going. And he's literally going, like it was amazing.
I'm really excited
wild.
to experience it.
Your first time is the best time.
Oh yeah, that's,
Cool. Looking
man.
forward to it. I think the car will be pretty dialed by the end of the season when we're going, and it's going to be a
Yep.
good time.
I don't think I'll take Cobalt down this year, most likely.
Really?
What are you
What are you
gonna
gonna take?
Whatever I get next, most likely.
Oh.
I'm looking for some.
Base model.
If I find a good deal on some, I want something just cheap that I can drive in the winter.
3,800.
I need
Man,
three
base
pedals.
model.
3 pedals.
Base model, dude.
It's
That's
up there.
my base model is the best gas mileage car I own out of my 5, by far. Like my Sonic gets like 24 on E85. My base model gets like 29.5 with Hoosiers. Mm-hmm. Like that's amazing, and that was an average of my entire drive home from Grid Life. Like,
That's not bad.
That's
yeah,
not
I mean,
bad.
even my auto gets 30 on the highway.
yeah,
So, I mean, that's going to go down with your gears, but
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I get like 17 in the Cobalt. pretty
Yeah,
good. Right?
I get like
Ouch.
I get
Granted, I
17 combined, or I get 16 combined in the Camaro
Yeah.
with the new aux kit. It likes to eat the fuels.
Yep, that sounds about like my Buick.
But it's new and fun and makes good noises, so
Yeah.
I don't think I'm very nice to it.
Yeah.
You
No,
you
I'm
should
not.
you should pay attention to your MAF turn on frequency and then scan your car when you're normally driving and see
When
how
it
often
turns
you're
on.
crossing over into it, because you might want to just turn
Bump
the
it up.
dial up and get and not engage it as early.
Yeah, I have noticed it. I think it comes on a little too early
Okay.
for driving around, but that's a good point.
Because I have that on my ATS-V, and I definitely did a lot of daily driving to determine the MAF frequency that I wanted it to come on with.
Yeah, yeah.
So like at part throttle, it doesn't come on at all.
Yep.
Then at full throttle, it comes on. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's I don't know. Tail of the Dragon. I don't know. I'm kind of kind of too fast for Tail of the Dragon. Really, there's just something
Yeah, it's-
I just know there's
crisscrossed
consequences,
in my
and
wiring. There's something crisscrossed in my wiring. I've had I took our HHR once and had the tires locked up into an outside turn once, and I remember like
That's terrifying.
road course is amazing because instead of freaking out and just pushing the brake pedal harder, I literally the brakes locked up and I was like, let off
Let
the
off,
brake,
and
hit
then-
the brake again, turn the corner, and I'm like, everything's good.
Yep.
And then as soon as I made the turn, I'm like, why am I so calm after that just happened?
Uh-huh.
But it's road course.
Yep.
You get on the road course, get your .4, .5 fluid, people, whoever's listening, run that, and you won't have any, brake issues, hopefully.
Hopefully.
But yeah, I'm curious to see Bo on it. Definitely be conservative. I'm really bad. Don't follow me. Don't worry about following me because even after I get pulled over twice in one Tail of the Dragon trip, I will
You
still go.
continue to send.
I will still continue to send.
Yep.
But anybody that's listening that goes to Tail of the Dragon or wants to go and is planning on going, it's probably going to be the best weekend of your life if you're a car guy that likes corners. But my recommendation is just don't punch it on the straightaways. Hit the corners at your max speed that you can hit them, and then just coast the the straightaways
Yeah, just
because
kinda-
there's a lot of traffic,
Yeah.
and you run into traffic, and it
Especially
ticks
when
you
you're
off.
when you're mashing.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, you don't quite see triple digits ever on the Dragon, but you're going fast.
The wife chimes in. I can't say the wife. She's offended by me saying the wife. I don't mean it offensive. My wife.
My wife.
My lovely significant other.
Yeah,
But-
no, that last tail trip that I went on in what was it? Is that 18 or 19? I don't know, one of the two. But we were coming into one of the corners, and I had two off with the Camaro
In front of me.
Yeah, right in front of Tim, two off, and then dove right into the corner, and then powered
Sure
right
did.
back out.
Sure
And we
did.
got back to cabins, and Tim was like, "You didn't slow down at all." I was like, oh, "No, why?"
It's kind of exactly how I go. It's like, all right, instead of running at 101%, the next
just
couple
back it down
turns
to
I'm going to
like
hit
90.
95.
Yep.
Like 95% is still going to safely,
Yeah.
hit the turn.
Yep.
I'm not going to be like, oh my God, went too off. I need to slow down to 50%
Yeah.
now. Like,
Don't get
We're
quite
here
that
for a
shaken.
reason.
yeah.
We didn't drive halfway across the United States to get scared.
Yeah.
I only overheated my power steering once last year, though. I
Yeah.
will say that.
Is that a new record?
Yes.
I have a 40K transmission cooler on my power steering just for Tail of the Dragon this
Ooh,
year.
Nice.
It's a smart move.
If that transmission makes it, is the question.
Smart move. If you put me behind the wheel in Noah's car, I will overheat that steering rack
Easy.
real quick.
It's easy to do on tail.
Oh,
Have you
man.
switched to the HHR motor yet?
No, not yet.
Yeah.
'Cause I think that's just a brushless motor, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't
Oh,
it
is
just
that
the
what
same?
it is?
I think it's just
Oh.
brushless versus brush.
Okay. Well,
I'm
See-
pretty sure that's the only difference.
Al and I were discussing. I don't know what gets stiff. Does the rack get stiff or does the motor get
It's the
stiff?
motor. The motor gets hot, so it just doesn't give the assist.
Oh, okay.
That's all it
then
is.
then put that HHR motor in
Yeah.
there and you're good.
Yep.
I know it's a slightly like you have to repin some stuff, but I mean, it seems like a pretty.
electrical.
But I mean, if I'm
Hate
not
it.
taking it down there, I've never got hot besides that.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
it's lower down on the list.
Yeah.
Noah broke my car.
That is true.
If you ever need a car pushed to break point, give it to Noah.
With autocross, for sure, yes.
I mean, you did happen to be in the Camaro the first two engines that blew.
Yeah, that's valid. Apparently, Apparently, you can't do top speed runs in LTGs. All right.
Yep. No, don't do that.
Tim was in it one time, also, though. To be fair.
Yep.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, we were passing the Kmart on 68th or whatever the other day, and I was like, oh, that's where the Camaro lost its first engine. That was before I even worked here.
That happens. Yeah.
You'll have that.
Yeah. What happens when you overheat your power steering? It gets really stiff, and then the fluid boils out sometimes. I've done that in 3800s
If it's
before.
electronic, you just don't get the assist, and it's just manual steering. And
That's not fun.
I feel like I got pretty strong forearms from climbing, but even still, it's hard to keep up.
When Noah's got hot on Tail of the Dragon, I had to cross my arms and hold the steering wheel like this because you were stronger.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like,
Ridiculous.
Dang.
you know, because I can't have people catching up.
No.
And
you
Noah's
can't.
car is ridiculously fast.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap,
Yeah.
is Noah's Cobalt fast.
It's
It's well balanced.
very.
It is
I'm
so-
curious. Like you gotta drive with the brakes now, and it's actually
Oh, man.
Yeah, you have proper brake
it
pads
feels
now.
good all around now.
Oh, yeah.
That, like, man, I wish Cobalts were more popular with road course racing. That is a fast platform.
It is. It's very fast.
Like a 151 with a freaking base model.
with 140 horsepower.
100, yeah. Like,
I'd be really interested to know what someone in a fast NA or NB Miata does.
yeah.
Because I feel like the base model's
I
faster.
feel like it's probably like a 155 if I had to. Even that might be kind of fast.
The spec fits are in the 154s.
Okay.
And what I will say, some bragging rights, is I was catching them in the corners. So fits don't
slicks,
handle
though.
better than a Cobalt.
But that's with slicks.
I
To be
guess.
Fair. To be fair.
We'll put my RT 660s on, and
Yeah,
I'll do the
that'd be-
same
that'd
thing.
That'd be a good
Like,
EV.
I'll do the same thing. But you know what? I do, to go along with what Noah said. I will say, when you drive the slicks through the back parking lot, which has a lot of rocks, the slicks throw a lot more rocks
Oh,
than
yeah.
200s do.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, 3 or 4 times more rocks hit my fenders when I drive the
that's a
base
lot.
model through there versus the Sonic.
I wonder if it's when the experienced road course guys are saying they're not as fast as your 200 treadwear. It's peak speed. Because obviously a slick is going to be softer from the start, so you may have overall more grip from beginning to end, which is why the 24 hours guys run them. Whereas a 200 treadwear, once it's up to temp, then it may be faster. So
I agree with that, I think.
yeah.
And that's what I heard as well.
Okay.
So I think slicks last longer at high temps,
Yeah.
where 200s I think get better, but then over time they
fall
wear
off,
out.
yeah.
They fall off. And I definitely felt, you know, the slicks can fall off too, but I mean, I was driving the car at like 11 tenths trying to get a 149 out of it, which I never pulled. Trevor made a comment about rain racing. I think the best rain race was Ryan Derrick, Mason, and me, like Tail of the Dragon, like 2017.
Okay.
We were doing Moonshiner at well into 3 digits in the rain, and it was a great time. It was one of the best rides ever.
One of my favorite sessions I've ever driven at Grid Life was 2019 at night in the rain in the Camaro, and you had to. It was all about corner entry because any amount of gas coming out of the turns, you're fishtailing.
Yep.
So I ended up with the second, at that time, was the second fastest street class in the rain record ever.
Wow, that's impressive.
And first was Tomo. And Tomo was just, I mean, flying by. I can't remember what he was driving, but we got done and the results came through and it said, you know, new street class rain record. And I was only half a second behind and I was like, wow, that's surprising. But
nice. Oops, did I botch this? Randy O'Brien might have
Randy
mentioned
says
that
you're
too.
old.
Oh yeah, he always says I'm old.
Love you, Randy.
hey, Landon. Hey, Matt. Nice to see some normal people. Oh, Arcane Shadows. I think I have an intermediate shaft for an 04 Redline. Shoot me a message or email me, tyler.v, and I'll look for it this weekend. It's been sitting in the garage forever.
$1 million.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you
it's
can't
got-
find those.
No,
No.
they're hard to find. I definitely wouldn't give it away, and especially if it's got a good bearing on it.
I don't know. It
The
was
jack shaft bearing on there is
it was from my original 04 car.
Would you ever run with that at Gingerman? Try to remember.
Not great.
50
Let's see.
something.
Let's look it up.
That's the one where
I'm
the,
really interested to see what the Buick does. Like, I have no idea.
Yeah, no, that's
If
totally
it-
totally new.
Like,
It's a 140 car, easy, I would say.
yeah, but
Are you gonna do that GVSU Autocross? Did you say?
when is it?
July 2nd and 3rd, they're doing one
Potentially.
potentially.
When was that? 2018.
That's definitely a parking lot.
Yeah, no, that's for sure a
autocross.
parking lot.
But I know my kid's planning on going there with his Cobalt,
Mm.
and if I don't have plans, I'll probably go just to go.
T-Spain wanted me to drive his WRX, which I think
Oh, that'd be
kinda
fun. Yeah.
interesting with his new coilovers on.
153 was my fastest lap in my original broke piece of junk Ion.
Getting it.
Yeah, that thing was gross.
That's what
It's
you
bad.
had at GVSU when I met you, right?
Uh-huh.
I think.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
like the color on it.
Yeah, well, when it had paint,
But, yeah.
it's fine. But yeah, so, that's 4 years ago. 153 in a supercharged Ion, and Tim's running 151s in a base model.
Have
so.
there really been many supercharged Deltas on? I can't think of anyone that's like actually.
I mean, the original GM Time Attack cars were blower cars.
Yeah. But
there's-
no Gingerman reference.
Oh,
no.
Gingerman reference?
I can't
No,
think of
not that I know
anything.
of. There was that one guy with the black Cobalt, but he was, I believe, an LNF. He was running quite a bit back in like 18,
There-
but
Jamal.
How
Yes.
how we
Yeah.
keep, how we keep
Fields.
referencing
He's like
how
48.
yeah.
we keep referencing how well of how capable of a platform the Delta chassis is, and what's up?
Oh, Arcane Shadows, it's Tyler.v, as in Victor, at ZZPerformance.com.
We keep referencing how good of a platform the Delta chassis is and how capable it is. It is so interesting how many of our customers don't race. And
Agreed.
I would say that equally for every single platform.
Oh, yeah.
ATS-V, the 2
ATS,
liter ATS,
Camaros.
right down the line. Sonic, everybody down to 3800. Nobody races, and I have no idea why. I don't know if it's just the times or what people are
Accessibility.
interested in.
Yeah.
But like we drive these cars every day to work. We work on them, and we race them all weekend, and we just repeat. And I don't know what you guys are doing with your Go Fast parts, but we don't see you out doing
Yeah,
stuff.
no.
And I don't understand what the scare is or why people aren't, but feel free to chime in if you have a
It's
reason
funny.
why you're
There's
not racing.
There's an older guy who autocrossed with us, and he has just a base cruise, like some 500 treadwear tires, but he's out there like almost every single event. I
Nice.
always try and just go talk to him, like, hey, you need
Really?
some
Heck
stuff?
yeah.
And he just,
That's great.
and he rips it. He's 3-wheel in and just.
Hey,
Well,
there you go.
I think there's a big intimidation factor because
It certainly can be.
People always think they're gonna break their cars.
Well,
autocrossing
not
or-
even the brake, but all of our cars are underdog cars. That's kind of what we do here is specialize
Yep.
in the underdog, and it's really not that scary once you start doing it, and it's a heck of a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess moral story, I wish we seen it more.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
to expound on that, I really wish we would see more W body guys out there racing because
Well, I mean,
You
like,
know-
even our good friend Bill Kish, he's normally listening, but he's driving from New York next week in his Grand Prix.
Yep.
I sent him a 93 octane 1.0 PCM file last week so he could drive it here because he was on E. He's driving it here. He's roll racing it, and then he's driving it to the W body meet the next day with us. And it's
Nice.
like, that's the kind of stuff I'm into. Like,
Uh-huh.
heck yeah, let's do it. Because I would equally drive my Regal to New York tomorrow and race it and not even think twice.
Yep.
And you know what? If it did break, we'll figure it out when it happens. But it's not going to break.
yeah, no, I mean that car proved last year that it doesn't break.
Yeah.
It just
And-
works.
And 9 times out of 10 when they're broke, they still get you home. And
Yeah.
it's overall, I wish people are as excited about pushing literally pushing their car as hard as we do. You know?
I will say, always looking back whenever I break stuff just in the middle of nowhere, it's always fun looking back, like, oh, I fixed it somehow.
Yep.
Yeah,
Even if
it's
it's-
never that bad.
Yeah.
It's never that bad.
I mean,
In the moment, it's like, oh man, this is the worst thing. I'm in the middle of Tail of the Dragon, and my
No.
fuel pump doesn't work. And
now the
what
one
am I gonna do?
caveat I will make is I probably wouldn't take a stock engine LTG across the country, race it, and then drive it home.
Well, I mean, you gotta if you build the car right, you're modded properly, you're tuned properly.
Yeah.
You're not a knucklehead. It's gonna be all right. But I don't know. End rant. Sorry.
I mean, and to add to that, like drag racing, there's probably a 10-to-1 chance of breaking your car drag racing to road course racing or autocrossing.
Yeah.
Like at an autocross, most likely you're not going to crash. You're not going to crash.
You're not
going to
gonna
break.
No.
You're going to be fine. You don't even have time. You don't even have time to overheat your brakes during an autocross.
Yeah.
But road course racing, you might have to worry about overheating your brakes. Like even all of our first time out for the year, we probably get pretty close to overheating our brakes because it's like you got to get back into
You
it.
use them too much, yeah.
That's one disadvantage of Michigan is like we get like 3-4 months off to where you kind of get rusty and you have to get back into it again.
Yep.
But yeah, you like road course racing. I mean, you're not launching your car, so you don't have to worry about breaking axles. I mean, it's just all about cooling. It's pay attention to your gauges and pay attention to how your brake pedal feels. And you can continue to autocross or road course race without issue.
You gotta take your own advice on the looking at gauges.
Yeah. Yeah, like in my Sky, I overheated the crap out of it because I was so obsessed with using my darn AIM Solo through the OBD2 port that I didn't watch my coolant levels.
Yeah. Matt mentions his cost for not racing. Most of the events we race in and we have most of our fun in is less than $50 for an entry fee.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
You probably spend more than that in a week on vape supplies. So
No kidding. Nice play. There are Track Night of America.
Yep.
That is your budget night full road course event.
$100-something bucks. You can get a instructor for no cost
Yep.
if you're a beginner. Those are fantastic entry level. If you want to get on a road course and you've got one within, I don't know, however far you want to drive.
We got them all over the country.
Yeah,
Yes.
everywhere. And
Every state has them.
if you sign up for the motorsportsreg.com emails, they'll send out coupon codes every once in a while. I assume it's Tire Rack wants to fill up those track nights, but they'll give you, $25, $50 off. I got one the other
Yep.
day, so it was $100 out the door for a full track day.
I didn't see
Yep.
that.
Yeah,
Guys,
it was the
apparently
one for next week.
I'm the worst driver here.
Sorry, Bo.
And all I got to say is I got a moose that is coming alive in the garage this week with a vengeance.
LSJ.
It's going to.
Yep.
Gotta
Like
prove
at the
it.
end of this year, we're gonna learn a lot. Like all of us are, and it's gonna show out here soon.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've worked really hard. I all obsess over the details, and that's why it's taken me this long. But it's
I gotta look at the calendar and see if there's anything to hit within the next couple weeks.
Noah, what's the average autocross cost?
$35
yeah.
maybe.
Everywhere
Yeah.
we go,
Cheap.
$30.
So
If that.
autocross, here's my 2 cents.
Drag
Obviously,
racing
this
is only always less than 20. It's like 15.
My 2 cents on this, which is not factual, it's just my opinion, but autocross is a great entry into road course racing.
Yeah.
It's an event that doesn't overheat your brakes. You can run on any treadwear tire. You're completely fine. It's going to teach you the 101s of road course racing. And it's going to teach you a little bit of how to control your car when you're out of control.
Yep.
It's pretty low speed, so the consequences are pretty low.
Yeah.
And then road course racing is the next step. But with road course racing, that definitely requires some. There are consequences on a road course.
You need to have a lot of foresight before going into
Yeah.
that.
I will say also, I just love the competition of autocross though. Like,
Yeah.
like your average, just track day. You're not actually competing against people.
No,
in time
yeah,
meters.
you're just bettering your
I love that
driving skills.
competition.
It is
and all the
just
nerds
a
that are
big kid go-kart session.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Yeah.
It is
And
cool. You get
build your
done.
own go kart.
You get done. You have that time. You're comparing it against everyone else.
Yeah.
I'll hit J-Dub. LSJ, yeah, good for road racing.
Hell yeah, it is. Cool.
My 2 cents would be outside of the normal things. Pulley up.
Heck yes.
Honestly, I know I'm on stock pulley train, but you don't need that extra 20 or 30 horse
No.
on the road course at the sacrifice of the higher IATs. Because
Well,
if you're running it,
let's be real here. It's not 20 or 30 horse by the time you do 3 laps.
3 laps, yeah, you get done with 1.
Yeah.
And a 2.8 LSJ would be completely heat soaked.
Yes.
You'd have IETs into the 180s, and with our 1.0 files, you're pulling time and you're pulling boosts. Like, just bigger pulley, cooling mods, .4 fluid.
180 IAT sound lovely in a 3800. We were dynoing Zoom's car today, and I was like, yeah, good IATs, 161. And that is a good IAT for all the 3800s I see with an IAT2
That's
sensor.
that's an LSJ with a non-working.
Yeah, that's a
intercooler
dead
pump.
intercooler pump.
The IAT2 starts at 127 on every pull. I can't get it lower. Man. Can't get it lower. But, I mean, it's pretty typical to see a couple of the guys I remote tune. They got an IAT2 sensor, and it's 190, 180.
200 plus.
Not always. Non-intercooled, absolutely.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
What's that website?
When and where do you guys autocross?
Tell him.
We can still hear you.
That's all right.
For Ethan, though, if you're in the West Michigan area, I do a lot of Fern Group stuff.
Yeah,
They're on Facebook.
Fern Group's awesome.
Really good group of guys, just kind of a bunch of nerds. And then
Yep.
it's kind of all across Michigan. There's like Detroit region, SCCA does a lot of stuff. South Bend region, SCCA.
South Bend
very
SCCA is
active.
huge.
Yep.
The last Berlin event we were at, somebody gave me a Fern Group sticker,
Yep,
and they're
yep.
like, hey, you want to rep this for us? I'm like, sure, put it on my car. I've had more comments on the Fern Group sticker.
Yeah.
Really?
A lot of people recognize it. And I don't remember where I was. I think I was at, there's an event over my way in Mulligan called Hot Rods and Harleys. And
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I went there, and 2 different old guys there were like,
Nice.
Fern Group?
Yeah. They've been around
Man,
since
I
the
used
50s.
yeah, and they're
no,
like, I used to do whatever back
Yeah.
in the day, and
Yeah.
we used to race here and there, and I'm like, yeah, cool. But like, it's funny how it's just a little silver dollar size sticker that gets all the attention.
Yeah.
I don't know how you.
So you got to actually come out to a Fern Group event this year and
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
really rep it. But, Motorsport Rag also
Yep.
.com is kind of where a lot of the
You can-
autocross events are posted up.
Put in your zip code and say you want notifications for events within 100 miles, and you'll get emails for all of them. If you're looking to do anything soon, weekend before the 4th of July or the
July
weekend
2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, the weekend of the 4th, Grand Valley Autocross, and that's always a fun one.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're dropping events. We're heading to Streetcar Takeover next Friday, ladies and gents.
Yeah.
If you want to have a heckin' good time in a streetcar,
Yep.
or even just come along and hang
Hang
out.
out and
Oh my goodness, we are gonna be jamming next Friday at Streetcar Takeover. We got the ATS-V, we got 3800s, we got Sonics, we got Ecotechs,
we got a slingshot with 4 wheels.
we got a slingshot
That
with 4 wheels.
pretty sure just made like 600 wheels.
Did it really?
I think so.
We're fixing to come out and gap everybody in
Yep.
the roll races.
Oh, and for this year, the Sonic has a little bit of a boost.
it took
or
us.
will.
It took us an hour to. Took us an hour to say something, but we have added some power.
950 psi worth of.
Yep. We got one of the big ones.
We're spraying it.
And I'm finally going to beat Zoom's GTP.
Yeah.
Don't jinx it.
You know, I probably did.
It's running real good. Zoom's GTP is running real good. I don't know if
it's
it'll
making
be,
over 4.
It's making over 4, and
Since we're here and you just did it today, tell us the results of the equalizer test.
yes, we will have an official video, but nothing crazy, but a video nonetheless. But we dynoed Zoom's GTP yesterday with the 1 7/8 Zoomy headers on it.
Big boys.
The biggest ones we've ever offered. I think they were like nearly
$2,000.
$2,000.
Yeah.
And it made 422 wheel horsepower with 11.5 pounds of boost.
3-inch downpipe.
Yep, 3-inch downpipe, 3-inch catback. And so we wanted to put the equalizer on it because we're heading to the W Body meet, the 10th annual W Body Gathering meet next Saturday. and we're like, why not heck an A/B test this? So I downloaded it yesterday. It made 422. We put the equalizer on today. It made 416 and the same amount of boost.
8 horsepower less.
And
It's more humid
Tim
today.
can chime in. It was a much worse day to dyno today. We couldn't knock it out in the same day just because we were busy around here and it's race season. But yeah, we've lost 8 horsepower.
Which is negligible.
Yeah, it's negligible because the dyno has a correction factor based on barometer and temperature and all this, and a few other things, but that only works out for an NA car.
Mm-hmm.
A turbo car, if you're on a manual controller, it's almost an advantage.
Yeah.
Or a torque based
Yep.
turbo car, it's an advantage. But on a supercharged car, it's the worst.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, the barometer was worse today. So, in my opinion, they probably made the same horsepower.
Yeah, and we can. It's on the car when we get back from the W body meet. We can always pick a good day and make that 420 again. I'm confident the car has it in it. It just
for
works so well. When I started on here with Tim, we kind of made it a priority to revive Zoom's car and just bring it back to its former glory of just 400 wheel horsepower of smacking M90 power, and it puts it down every day we want to turn the key.
Yep.
And the biggest thing we did was just uncomplicated a lot of things and simplified it. We preach it around here all the time.
Follow our recipe.
There's a recipe for this shit, and sorry, it just came right out. And don't overcomplicate it. And
It works.
Stuff works really well, and Zoom's car is a perfect example of it. And we turned the key this year, changed the oil.
It hasn't ran since probably streetcar
And it's
takeover last year.
It's like let's
Yeah.
make 420 wheel on a 2.8 pulley.
Yep.
And low boost basically. And so
So there you go. Everyone.
and it sounds so cool.
Oh
It
my
sounds
gosh.
incredible. We'll
Yep.
post a video. It's a very cool downpipe that we created for the 3800. I was telling Tim, I'm like, if we had this 10 years ago, you'd probably still have a 3800.
It's possible.
Yeah.
It sounds really good, and I'm excited to show everybody at the meet next week. And
People are going to love it.
yeah, it sounds crazy.
Aluminum heads on Zoom's GTP, but just off-the-shelf ones, right?
Yep, just aluminum heads. Sorry, they're not available anymore.
Supply chain issues.
Yeah, literally.
I mean, you can't get aluminum.
Yeah.
You can't get materials to make them.
So
Maybe we'll revisit them again in the future, but
It'd be
yeah, I mean, it's a possibility, but nonetheless, the aluminum heads aren't the factor. The factor is just putting together a good setup with the parts that work. You
Yeah.
know?
Yep.
Cam, intercooler, any kind of head with a good valve spring, and E85 is going to be your key for making good power on an M90.
I will say, we're going to have to find a good head or block caster here soon, because LDKs are running low.
Getting low.
Yeah.
Get them while you can.
And I was watching Gears and Gasoline the other day, and IAG makes blocks and heads and everything for EJs for the Subarus, and they have someone cast them, and they're really nice. So I
Yeah.
think that we'll have to do that, because once we run out of Ecotech blocks,
One quick
We
thing.
gotta
I
keep
don't-
this-
Depending on
LTGs too.
yeah, you can't even get LTG blocks.
No.
Yeah.
GM doesn't even sell them.
Yeah, LTG blocks are a huge thing. Everybody, everybody has a blown up LTG. Everybody has one. It's
Everyone.
not literally, but you hit us up. You're like, hey, I need an LTG rebuilt. The problem is we normally can't use your block, and so we're gonna have to source one, which we're capable of doing, and we try and keep a couple on hand for everybody who needs one. But it's they're hard to come by, and they're not cheap.
Mhm.
And it's definitely something we're gonna have to dig our feet in and get some R&D work. Whether we start sleeving them, whether we decide to
Yeah.
whatever our
something.
solution is, that we're gonna have to figure something out soon for the LTG as the platform grows.
Yeah,
and
it's
people
an-
start to make more power.
It's an engine that GM has had around for 10 years. So there's a lot of them, and there's a lot of cars with them, and we know that market's going somewhere. So, we've always got something up our sleeves, and we'll make sure we have a solution just like we did with the LDKs. So
Yeah, it's absolutely. One last rant. on the equalizer, I didn't mention the boost didn't change. Me and Tyler had bets today on what the boost was going to go up because we switched it from an 1 7/8 header and a 3-inch downpipe to a power log and a 2.5-inch downpipe. The boost did not change.
Didn't move.
And we made 331 through a shorty header and a 2.5-inch downpipe on an M62 the other day. And
Yep.
I think once you get that airflow out the back, your restriction is still that Eaton.
Yeah, the blower and the intake manifold. Really.
Doesn't matter the platform; it is still that Eaton. And
The heat pump.
At the end of the day, the equalizer works really well, and we're happy to present it to you guys. 3800s sound good. Finally.
Man.
Too late.
So, like 20 years into this business.
I know.
When I
Wild.
started here at ZZP, I'm like, I'm going to make this shit sound good, and we're just going to keep on keeping on, and we're doing it.
Yep.
So.
We are. It makes the 3800 like a cool engine again.
Yeah, I mean, we put it on the car today. Everybody's reluctant of taking these beautiful 1 7/8 headers off Zoom's car, even myself. And we put it on today, and I'm like, it looks pretty cool. And we started it up. I'm like, man, it sounds pretty cool.
You give it a couple laps.
Oh, it's just,
And it's like,
oh, it sounds good. You guys are going to, don't miss the WI meet. We're going to be revving that thing all day. I bet it'll have a full tank of gas so I can rev it for anybody who wants to hear it.
If it breaks, it's because too much limiter.
That's fine. That's fine.
Nah. It won't break. It's a 3800.
Nope. It
No,
will not.
I Tim always tells me not to over rev him on the dyno, but it's so fun at 6800. Why stop at 62 when it just wants to keep going? 400.
When have I ever told you not to do something?
You always telling me not to rev him. I'm like, let's just rev it.
Keep them going.
If it's still making power, keep revving it.
Yep.
But,
What's
Well-
everyone up to this weekend? then?
Yeah,
That's
we're
the
after
question.
5, so let's wrap up. What do we got going? I am, since you asked, Noah, I am starting the blue car swap here in approximately
hallelujah.
as soon as I can get downstairs.
Yep.
Downstairs.
We got 2 bays open for Tyler V at ZZP. We're going to pull in blue. We're going to pull in new blue.
Yep.
Cradle
And-
swapperoo.
Cradle swap,
Some swippity
fuel
swap.
system, brake system. It's an undertaking, but I don't think it's going to run this weekend. But as long as I get the cradle swapped, that's the
Get it
big
rolling.
portion.
Yeah.
Get it, wheels, suspension. Yeah, we'll be well on our way.
Don't feel bad. I've had a cradle in my car for like a week and a half, and it's still not running. And I was up till 3:30 in the morning last night working on it.
Yep. Yep.
That's just more rant stuff, man. This is our life, I mean, you're staying late tonight working on the car, so we
And
can.
then all day tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's just what we do. I am starting the Regal, possibly tonight, maybe tomorrow. Minor details to finish
Prove it.
up. I'll send you a video, brother.
Better.
I'll FaceTime you. And then maybe dynoing it, bring it in this weekend and dyno it. And
Sweet.
Because we are
Yeah.
done out of time to make power and clean stuff up for the WRD meet and streetcar takeover on Friday.
Yep.
Better late than never.
That's
Yeah.
the ZZP way.
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
got going this weekend, Tim?
Oh, I'm, wrenching on base model, mainly appearance stuff. Hanging out with my wife because I've been gone for a couple weeks.
Yep.
And streetcar takeover, I'll be gone again, so I definitely have to make up for some lost time on that.
Yep.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Nice.
Nice.
Noah?
Probably just work on the garage a little bit. I might pull a fuel tank on the Cobalt and try and figure out my issue of only being able to fill it up 3/4 of the way. See if I see anything that's obvious.
Yeah.
And probably reorganize the garage.
There you go.
Some shelves up.
Nice.
That is an interesting one.
It's a weird one. Never heard of it before. But
Can
something with
only-
the evap system.
Yeah.
I
feel
don't
like it.
think it's evap
charcoal,
because
charcoal canister.
yes.
Yeah, I mean that's part of the evap system. So.
evap doesn't work when it's not running. It's definitely the charcoal canisters plugged or not functioning.
Yeah, I don't know if I kinked
not-
the line maybe when I was at Tail of the Dragon. I swapped it because it was only
Yeah.
after that it
Could be.
happened.
Ah.
So
So you mean your roadside quick fuel pump swap?
apparently
didn't work?
wasn't the best. But it's worked so far, but
Have
how
you
well?
That's
have you
alright.
tried diddling the nozzle out a little bit when you pumping it?
Actually, I really haven't. No,
That's a good
Oh.
trick.
Yep.
give it a try.
Basically, it just lets it breathe out the filler neck instead
Yeah.
of the charcoal
but,
canister.
yeah, but
There you go.
My
Besides that,
my
though,
Sky
not
has
too
that problem right now too. Like it is tough putting fuel in that car.
Really?
So I need to diagnose whatever that is.
I'm sure it is when the pump keeps shutting off and you're like, is it full? Is it full? Is it full?
Yeah.
The mobile over on Chicago Drive. I don't know if you guys have filled up there lately, but the E85 there is $1 cheaper than Speedway, so I always go over to that one.
Slow.
to know.
It's super slow, but on the Camaro, it doesn't stop.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. So I have a fuel station at home, at the ethanol plant. Every once in a while, it's slow, and it's not
Yeah.
all the time. It's slow, and I hear it's when they don't change the filters enough.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And because I got a future ex-brother-in-law who works there or whatever. Anyway, he says when they don't change the filters enough, and it doesn't also shut off. I'm
Yeah.
like, click, click, and then I'm like, oh, it's one of these
I know.
days. All right, let's wait here. And then next thing you know, it's just pouring down the side of the car.
Well-
I'm like, oh.
The other day, I'm over there filling up, and it takes so long, and the Camaro was almost empty, and it's
You're
got
in
like
the
a
car on
Yeah,
Instagram.
so I'm sitting in the seat, and I'm like, why does it sound like someone's peeing on my car? And I stand up, and there's probably a gallon on the ground that had just spilled out. so-
$17 worth of
Yeah, I know. So watch that if you go over there. But anyway, that's pretty good. We're past 5.
Tim's the best driver.
Maybe.
We knew it.
I don't know. He's got the fastest
see.
time around Gingerman, but only because he had 600 wheel.
Kind of helps.
I
Kinda
only,
helps.
no, I had a Gingerman or grid life rules. I was only like 540 or something.
Only 540. Yeah, only 540.
Because I could only be 20% over stock boost,
Yep.
and I didn't know how to tune ATSVs
Well,
like back
you know,
in that year.
That was a
so-
long time ago. We'll go out someday. We'll prove who's the best driver.
I mean,
Yeah.
my
We all
slow
are.
S2000 still is like a. Well, I guess Noah beat that time now.
I beat that.
I
time
don't
too.
really. It's not really
Did
that
ya?
much.
Yeah,
Beating an
142.
S2000, but-
I bet you.
yeah,
I bet you.
147.
I bet you. Cold beer. The moose beats it as well.
Ooh, I don't
I'll bet that
know.
any day. Any day.
See,
I think we got to take the Tesla out. That's the
Yeah.
yeah,
the great
the Model 3 would be a
equalizer.
good one.
It would be
Model
three.
very
Great equalizer.
interesting. It would be very interesting.
We'd have to make sure it's at the same percentage.
Yeah.
Well,
I
what
don't-
we would have to do is you'd get like 2 laps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get like 2 laps apiece per section, and then you just jump in another car or something.
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah.
sucks, but
Yeah, we got some cool things coming for the Model 3. Stay tuned.
Yep.
Yeah.
We do. All right. Let's
Cool.
get to it. Let's get
Cheers.
wrenching.
Everybody
guys
have a good
later.
weekend.
See ya.
yeehaw.